So let's work through 5 steps that you can take if you want to start processing your arguments. So we all know that every marriage is going to have conflict, right? But the question is, what do you do after the fight? No one ever talks about that. Once the fight is over, what are you supposed to do? Just go have coffee, watch TV? I'd like to suggest something. How about you and your spouse try to process the argument? We need to process our past fights. We need to process these things that might have injured each other. Why, you might say? Why would we even want to go there? Well, think about it. Have you ever taken a history class? Why? Because when we study history, we ensure that we don't repeat the past. If you study your past fights, you can ensure that you don't repeat the same mistakes. So what does processing mean? Basically, you just want to talk about the incident without getting back into it again. You don't want to have the argument again, but you want to have a conversation as if you're both kind of like sitting in the balcony of a theater, looking down, describing what happened on the stage when all the action was going on. This requires some emotional distance. It's going to be very difficult for you to do this if you're still kind of in that anger place or you have a lot of emotional activation. So you need to make sure you're calm when you try this. I want you to keep in mind a couple things as you start to try to process arguments. Number one, the goal in all this is greater understanding. You want to address how and why this happened. The second thing that you want to try to do is you want to assume that each of your realities in this argument has validity. You have to come to the table with that understanding that what this person thinks and feels has some validity. There are many married couples that are troubled right now because they just don't agree on the facts. They don't believe the other person has any validity in what they brought to the table in an argument, and it's incredibly destructive. So let's work through 5 steps that you can take if you want to start processing your arguments. Number 1, start with feelings. Share how you felt. Share, here's what was going on with me. I was really hurt, or I was really surprised. Secondly, look at the realities. Start to talk about the realities. Describe your reality. Take some turns. Summarize what the other person has said. Even if you don't agree with them, try to summarize their reality. Here's what I hear you saying that you went through. Number 3, look at triggers. Share what experiences or memories you've had in the past that might have escalated your interaction with your spouse right here, right now. Share the stories of these triggers. I got really mad because, man, that reminded me of when my dad used to say that, or I got so hurt because that reminded me of something an ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend said long ago. Number 4, responsibility. Acknowledge your own role in contributing to the fight. You've got to allow yourself to own what you did, what you brought to the table that created this disconnect. And then finally, a constructive plan. Come up with something constructive that you guys can do differently next time to make that kind of conversation go better. So my encouragement is simple. Become a student of the conflict that you have with your spouse, and you can ensure that you don't repeat your past.